Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for FLR. I wanted to show you this update because we're potentially topping up in this area and need a larger correction to correct this entire 5-wave sequence to the upside. So I'll show you that. So since our low, we've had a 5-wave impulse. We're on the 5th of a 5th wave. And I wanted to show you this impulse, how nicely it played out using Elliott wave. Now off the low, we had a wave 1 and a wave 2. Expected targets between the 50 and the 618 retracement of wave 1, which we hit right on the nose. We then extended our wave 1 off our wave 2 to the 1.618 extension for our wave 3. We then corrected to between the 382 and the 50 of wave 3 for our 4th wave. We're now extending up for our 5th wave. We are currently, by my standards, literally in the 5th of the 5th of the 5th. Some important areas to keep track of. We have an order block over here on the left from the selling pressure originally. We also just passed the 0.618 retracement of the entire move to the downside. My targets currently are at 2.8 cents for our 5th and 3 cents, 3.057, that 2.382 you see there in green. Those are my targets. So quite a little zone right here, looking for rejection. The important thing to realize on this one, it doesn't mean this is going to a bull or a bear market and rolling over anything. We just need to correct this entire 5-wave sequence in a 3-wave pattern. And ideally, we will find support at this previous 4th wave of one lesser degree before attempting the next move in the bull market. So it's basically a fractal of this wave 1 and 2. This entire thing becomes a larger 1 and 2 if you're new to Elliott wave. Now time-wise, if this plays out and we top up around this area, we'd expect to be in a 3-wave sideways correction ranging probably out until April within the zone of around 1.6 cents and about 2 cents. This is the zone we expect to come back to in a 3-wave pattern. Now I'll go down to the smaller time frames and show you where we're topping here in the 1 hour. So yesterday I needed this move to kind of play out a little bit more, give us an idea of what's happening. I have our wave 4 bottom here of our 5th wave. And I believe this is making a diagonal. Not the prettiest, but it's the best fit. We have a series of zigzags for our wave 1. We then got a larger wave 2 pullback. Our 3rd wave extension of our wave 1 off our 2 came to the 1.236, which is expected for a 3rd wave. And we're expecting to top at 3 cents at the 1.618 you see right there, which coincides with the 2.382. So you can see our pretty much ideal zone, and our 618 extension of our larger wave 1 through 3 off our 4th is at 2.857. So that's our zone there. Now just to be clear, this 4th wave can become a little bit bigger, and this could get pulled out a little bit, where this turns into a zigzag. It looks like 5 waves there to the downside as a pretty flat zigzag pattern. Or it can come up a little higher. Or if this isn't a 5 wave and it's a complex correction, we're just on such a small time frame, this could also turn into some sort of flat pattern for our 4th, and then we go up for our 5th and 3. Either way, it looks like we're topping soon. We'll have to see what pattern pans out here. But targeting that 3 cents is the current take profit area, and looking for a short after the fact. Ideally, what we want to see is tag this trend line on the larger time frame, as you can see. Just tag that right there. Down on the 15-minute. Oh, that got out of whack on the smaller time frame. So come up here, make a complex move to the upside, tag that upper trend line, tag our trend line of this diagonal, hit our targets at 3 cents, and then reject pretty hard below our diagonal trend line, and then make a sideways correction. At this point, if this pattern plays out exactly like this, again, this fourth can come a little bit lower and we make our move from there, but very similar move. Want to see it hit those trend lines, hit our target, reverse, get a lot of sell pressure, get a sideways correction. And at this point, I will be interested in taking a short with the stop at the high, targeting all the way down, again, between 2 cents and 1.5 cents. So it'll be a pretty nice trade setup if this happens. Now, I'm not shorting at the moment, just to be very clear. I need to see this happen before I decide to get confident in a short, because we can always get extensions. But that's what I'm looking for FLR. Looking to correct this entire 5-wave move. And then after we get that larger correction out to this area, we'll be looking for the bull market to continue. We just need a little breather. Need people who are up a lot to take some profit here and make a nice 3-wave ABC to the previous 4th wave area. Now, other things I was looking at on the daily is we are starting to get our divergence on the daily. That was our 3rd wave. Highest peak on the RSI. There was our 3rd of the 5th, and we're getting divergence for our 5th of the 5th. So doing exactly as expected RSI terms. We want to see this come back to the 40 zone on the daily before we make our next move. On our 4-hour, same. Largest peak was the 3rd wave, 3rd of the 5th, and you can see we're making divergences here as well between the 3rd and the 5th. On the 15-minute, yeah, this is nice because everything's lining up on all time frames for our RSI. You can see, well, not quite, but we are getting divergence, which is nice here. We want to see the most divergence on this 5th wave peak. We want to see it fall, come back up, make higher highs, but our RSI stay lower and reset itself. All right, so everything's looking good. Going to be paying close attention on this area up here. Actually going to make an alert on that at the moment. Again, we can get a smaller 4th wave, come down a little further, and then make our move for our 5th, or we can just go from here. But this is the area I'd be looking for at the 3 cent zone or on our 618 extension at 2.857. But ideally, we tick both those trend lines, the diagonal trend line and the larger time frame trend line right there. That would be ideal, right at 3.15 cents. All right, guys, so that's it for this one. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want updates on this. I update quite a few coins, and I will see you on the next one.